When you know about what actually happens in the world and the way people are affected, you just have to move differently. And it is an incredible privilege to be that oblivious. I was gonna say dumb, but I don't even want to say dumb. That oblivious that, oh, we're just having fun, guys. Adin Ross finally realized that he got used again. Okay. Now, I know this is pertaining to our boy Donnie here, was going around podcasters, and podcasters was like, yo, you know, Donald's the man. I'm gonna interview him. Nothing bad can happen, right? I don't really do politics. I would just ask some questions. And now everybody backtracking. I don't know if they thought we was born yesterday, but
tell you guys something. Now that I look back on it, I really, really wish I never got into like politics. Now that I look back at it, it's like, damn, like so many people just tie me to it, and now it's just like no.
This is why, bro. Listen, y'all need to go to school, bro. Go to school. Your 7th grade. Listen, I learned this in like 6th, 7th grade. Actually, I learned this in elementary school about propaganda. If you know how the government uses propaganda, then you can realize what people are doing in life when they want to stand next to you. You got one of the biggest fan bases in streaming, and you didn't know that there would be impacts for you to get into politics? Why do you think they wanted to come sit with you? Why? Just ask yourself that question.
No matter what, they don't even get to know who I am because they don't like even want to. Oh, he did this stream with Trump. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I really, really understand other people's side. And as I'm getting older, I'm just like seeing like, I just don't think I'll ever care enough again for any other politician ever in the future. Just because it's like, at the end of the day, bro, like humans, we're all humans, you know?
This is such a crazy statement, and people are not talking about this enough. During last year's election and overall political cycle, influencers were used heavily in order to endorse different politicians in order to get their narratives out there to a younger, more impressionable, and honestly, less studied audience. Whether it be Andrew Schultz, Joe Rogan, the Nelk Boys, or now Adin Ross, people's influence was getting used and honestly exploited in order to get their messages out to the masses. Now, the tricky thing about the types like Adin Ross is that he does not understand the level of influence that he has. He constantly promotes these people and puts them in different positions to his audience, and then when the thing no longer suits him, then he abandons them wholeheartedly. He'll go super hard on this thing for months and months and months, you know, pushing this in his life, pushing this on his audience who is young and impressionable. And then later on, he'll just drop it like it's a bad habit. Kind of like that Toy Story meme that I don't want to play with you anymore. And overall, that's fine and dandy. He's rich. He can move on to the next thing. He has time, space, finances, and opportunity to just pivot out of it. But for the young and impressionable audience, they are left with the damages done by somebody that they look up to heavy.
I love watching a culture vulture spiral. You made your move. You put your flag in the sand. Now you facing all the backlash. Now you want to backpedal. Nah, stay with your man. Don't let a rich kid fool you. All he gives a about is money. You know what it is? He's losing the black dollar. He's losing the black fan. All these companies, everybody knows how important the black dollar is. No matter how much shit they talk on us, they know how important the black dollar is, how important the black vote is, whatever you want to.
I don't even think it's the black dollar, though. I don't think that's what Adin Ross is losing. He's losing the ability to be accepted in rooms. He's made a lot of jokes. He said a lot of things, but I think this is one of those things where politics has ramifications on people's lives. That's why they get in office to pass laws. And if you don't know what somebody stands for, why would you endorse them at the way you did? And even if you did platform a person, bro, I've seen Adin Ross pressure Kai about their friendship more than you ask questions about a presidential candidate using your platform and asking them real questions about what they believe. It makes no sense to me.
Any field, the black blank, put it in there. It's important. It matters. Okay. So what he's doing is he's backpedaling, realizing maybe the subs ain't what they used to be, or the influence isn't what it used to be, or too many people are calling me racist, and this and the third. My manager had these racist remarks. I'm not cool with Kai no more. I'm not cool with Speed no more. Yeah, that black impact get weird, right?
Seeing as to how he's one of the biggest streamers in the world, and seeing as to how streaming and content creation is getting more serious in the mainstream industry, it would make a lot of sense for Donald Trump and other politicians to be looking at the likes of Aiden Ross to go on to their platforms in order to spread their message. Now, this is no small feat. On one side, it puts legitimacy behind the content creator and the content creator economy as a whole, saying that, hey, we are here, we are taking over new media, we are something to actually be respected and talked about. And two, from the content creator's perspective, it's an opportunity for you to show your young audience who you really are. Can you live up to that level that they're trying to bring you to, the seriousness that you want to convey to people, and what you are going to do with your independent media platform. A lot of times content creators and audience people criticize the mainstream media because they don't take things seriously enough, or they are not objective, etc., etc. But Aiden Ross understood the severity and level of this platform that he has.
August 5th, which is next Monday, I have a stream with the President Donald Trump. We've been working on this for weeks, months. It's officially locked in. We will have a live stream with President Donald Trump.
And now I'm pretty sure, I mean, he wasn't the president at the time, but I'm pretty sure somebody walked in there like, hey, can you not ask questions about this? Can you not ask questions about that? But you're live. You're live. If I say this question, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You can get up and walk out. You can kick me out of Mar-a-Lago, all of that. You can do all of that. I asked the question. So I think if I ask it and you respond like that, it's gonna tell people something. Or you give an answer and people will be like, okay, this is the answer, and they can agree with it or not. All right. But I feel like so many times with politicians, especially like those people don't let us say what we want to say. Those people, they get in front of people who they believe are helping them in that narrative, and they don't put no pressure on them. You don't ask no question that is going to make somebody, I don't care who you are. If I'm interviewing you and you are trying to win over people, I'm going to ask you questions that people who might disagree with you want to know so they can start agreeing with you. Because the people who already agree with you, they already agree with you. So what will be the purpose in me standing here instead of being a useful idiot? Come on, man. Y'all got to use that thinker.
This could be by far one of the most important streams I've ever done in my life.
And with knowing the potential gravity of this situation, I mean, literally, you could swing votes here. Aiden Ross would take this seriously, right? He's going to ask questions, give pushback, get him to talk about pressing issues and pressing matters, you would think, right?
And then as soon as the other half of the stream, you're going to notice it's going to switch to straight fun stuff. You're going to see a bunch of different segments that him and I planned. We're going to react. I'm not going to say the other segments I planned. It's going to be straight fun stuff, straight cracking jokes, straight normal stuff, bringing out the fun in President Trump. That's the whole goal I envision.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
You see, I would love to even get him to hop on Monkey with me. I would love to. I'm gonna actually bring that up tonight. I didn't even think about that. I have a friend who's currently being treated unfair by her. He's a rapper named Young Thug.
Yeah.
And I
I heard that actually.
Yeah. I just was wondering if there's a way that we can make sure he gets treated fair. That's all.
So I've heard about him.
Really hard-hitting journalism right there. Now, look, I don't have a problem with Aiden Ross playing silly games.
So, Mr. President, when you seen those people break in, what was going through your mind? What was you thinking? Because some people say that you said peacefully. What did you think about those people? Do you think they were disobedient? Do you think they misinterpreted you? What was going through your mind? That's all you gotta ask, bro. It's not that deep, man.
Games or somewhat humanizing Donald Trump. I do, but I don't have a problem with that. If he were to ask the real questions and if he was to have a real interview, if he gave real criticisms, got real stories, gave pushback, all that stuff like that, then I believe that this would be an okay thing. But I remember consuming the interview, and to be quite honest with you, he pulled numbers, 560,000 views. He gave him a Rolex, he gave him a Tesla, a Cybertruck that was wrapped, and he asked them lightweight questions, let him get his rhetoric off, and then played a game of say one word about this person. Hey, the reason why I'm so critical on these content creators is because they don't understand the power that they have. That interview that Trump did with Aiden Ross swung a lot of votes. It played a very pivotal role in the election. Same thing with the Andrew Schultz and the Joe Rogan podcast.
The Andrew Schultz one, the backpedaling they're doing is insane, bro. Like, I hate for people to act like they're so objective or so, especially, bro, Joe Rogan. Oh my goodness. Yo, I just gotta ask the questions and we gotta get down to the bottom of what's reality. You get in front of one of the most important people of this century so far. All right? Gotta be. Like, Donald Trump, say what you want, good or bad. He is top 5 most important people to exist since 2000, bro. In the world. Okay? Well, man, listen. My non-Americans, maybe y'all might say somebody else, but for Americans, top 5. All right? And you get in there and you softball, lob, let them hit home runs. When you have 110 mile an hour fastball you could throw to see how good he really is. Come on, man. What are we doing?
This interview that he had, Trump even acknowledges these things.
So I have a son who's very smart and tall, Barron. He knows all about you. He knows about guys I never heard of. He said, Dad, you don't know how big they are. They're big. You know, he told me how big. I said, who the hell is he? Like Ross. I did. He said, Dad, he's a great guy. I mean, guys that are doing, it's a whole new world out there.
It's a different world. And
but, you know, I'm on TikTok now.
Congratulations.
And I've done really well. No, but you know the crazy, have you seen the numbers? Billions of hits. It's crazy.
I'm sure. TikTok's a wild application.
And
you know somebody is old when they tell you how many hits you get on that. I get a lot of hits on there. You probably get a lot of hits on that website. That's how you know somebody is really old. Okay.
Up 30 points. A Republican is always down 30 with young people.
Trump is my best moment. The fact that I even if it's at 0.01%, Alex, the fact that I had a little bit to do with the election is crazy. And the fact that I got the president on a live stream.
See, Aiden, when you say something like that, even if I had 0.01% to do with the election, that's crazy. Which means you're happy that you were able to impact the way that people voted, that elected people who affected people's lives in certain ways. Whether people think that's good or bad, those actions, you did that. All right. So you can't run away from it now. You knew what you was doing. You knew what it meant.
Done it live. Yeah. Nobody. I was the first one to do them live.
You have influence, but you need to use it wisely. And this is the problem that I have with Aiden Ross, the Nelk Boys, and other content creators of the likes. Yeah, it's cool that you have the power to literally sway an election. That's perfectly fine and dandy. I would question and ask, have you done your due diligence on these parties? Or do these parties know about you, know about the influence that you have, and are using you to be manipulated? I think the question is quite clear. Less than a year later, Aiden Ross is already backtracking on some of his stances on Donald Trump, which would seem to be marking, to me, the start of another situation in which Aiden Ross allowed somebody to come on his live stream, manipulate him to get to his massive audience, to push their ideologies, push their rhetoric, and get their shit off. You know, kind of like how FaZe Banks and the Crypto Bros did when they came on his platform to push big crypto, like how some of the rappers do. They used his platform, manipulated him, and then ran off with the bag. Donald Trump will be no different, and you can see that by Aiden Ross backtracking on some of his stances.
You know, I love Trump, but he did say no new wars, and I don't fuck with that. So we gotta, no real shit. We need world peace in the world.
Why do you switch up like that?
Listen, man, I
love Trump.
I would love to talk about that in person. I think I'm gonna make a stream.
I'll set it up.
When's the
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
This year. White House stream is still this year, but I don't know. I would love for it to happen. I got invited within the next couple weeks to go to the White House and stream, but like, bro, I don't fucking know, bro. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you guys. Like, I actually don't know if I won't even. I just.
If you got invited back and you had these questions, why when you got a conflict with somebody, you don't want to see them no more? When it was when it was go Trump, it was, yo, come on. I'm in Mar-a-Lago with the Tessie. You know what I'm saying? It was good. But then he starts doing things you don't like. And you don't want to go talk to him and be like, yo, Trump, you know what I'm saying? You said X, Y, and Z before the campaign. I feel like after the campaign, you did A, B, C. Those don't really match up. I'm trying to figure out what happened. Why are people so scared to ask people their intentions or about the things they do? Why? If you thought it was just I was just doing this thing, it should be no problem to walk in there and say, yo, hey, this is what I believe. This is what I thought you said. This is the outcome we seen. What happened? There should be no problem with that.
I don't want to be in that politics shit at all, bro. But like, it's such an honor to go to the White House. You know what I mean? But like, bro, fuck, bro. I'm gonna wait.
This seems to be a pattern developing with Aiden Ross. One where he meets a guy who he idolizes, looks up to, gets really, really enamored with, platforms him to his young and impressionable audience. And then after learning more about them, or maybe promises not fulfilled, or I don't know, seeing a different perspective, he decides to backtrack on some of those stances. You remember his whole Andrew Tate saga that he went through a couple years ago?
Andrew, you know you actually helped me stop masturbating? Because every time that I would masturbate, I would think of you. And I'd be like, nah, this is not right. I'm going to stop.
That's crazy.
What the fuck?
I said, I'm going to stop doing this shit now. No, for real. You put it in my brain. Nah, I haven't done it in months. Swear to God.
Andrew Tate went as far as to putting Aiden Ross on his visitation list when he was confined to prison. Now, naturally, because Aiden Ross seems to be a follower, he decided to embrace this guy heavily. Went on to different platforms and podcasts to endorse him while having a shaved head to show solidarity or support or trust when it comes to Andrew Tate.
Back to the Tate shit. Have you been in contact with anyone on that side or anything since the fucking arrest went down?
Nah, man, I haven't. And, you know, it's crazy what's going on right now. I spoke on a Twitter space about it. This is where I'm at on it, man. You know, he's innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I am. Tate, everyone, I know you guys have met him too. I'm gonna let you guys speak on your experience meeting him. But when I met him, bro, he took me in open arms, me and my whole entire crew, like literally all of us. And we would talk like basically off camera for hours and hours and hours about real shit, just real motivational life shit. And he's just, like I said, bro, he's to me, to anyone who's personally met him, I've never heard someone say anything bad about him. He's just very genuine.
Aiden is a young, impressionable dude. And I think a lot of young dudes are impressionable. This will be no different than, you know, the young guy who graduates high school, doesn't know what he wants to do, and pursues the rapper career or the singer career or the basketball player career because they're idolizing LeBron James, Drake, or Morgan Wallen. He goes to the extremes. He does cut his hair, does the push-ups and all this other stuff. But the difference is that Aiden Ross platforms individuals, and Aiden Ross has one of the biggest platforms for youth in America. It's just that simple. He doesn't do vetting behind these guys. He looks at surface level things. And these people know that. That's why they are able to infiltrate his place in his space, even though they don't necessarily respect Aiden Ross. In that same Andrew Tate saga, Aiden Ross was disrespected 50,000 times, straight up to his face, to be honest with you.
So because he's afraid and he's a coward, what else can you do but be a clown? And how do you be a clown? What do clowns do? They self-depreciate for your entertainment. They make a fool of themselves so you laugh. So why is he back on lean? For views, I guess. He may not even realize that himself. He's back on lean so he has something to talk about on his fucking stupid show.
I would say that the drug thing with Aiden, maybe that played, because look, I've never been on I've never been on something, but I also I don't think I've ever been attached to anything that consumed my mind like that. Like, to where you got to run back to this thing every time. I don't think I've personally ever been that deep. Okay. So I'm not trying to shoot Aiden no bail, but hopefully I don't know. Some of the conclusions people come through, I don't see how they sit down and think and be like, yo, you know what? This is the logical thought process behind this.
Little fucking finger, little stubby fingers, you're trying to slip a note away. Give me it. Like, count it. No, it's not that I don't trust you, I just don't trust you.
Why do you not trust me? There must be a specific reason about me. Is it my nose?
It's because you're a fucking Jew. No wonder Kanye blocked you.
I like Aiden, but he's a perfect example. He is a perfect example of why you can't give people money early. Well, look at him. He's a kid. He doesn't do any real work. He sits on streaming websites, fucking gambling, a dumbass. He keeps going on and off drugs. and just being an idiot, falling in love with whores, breaking up, and going on and off drugs, getting fat, putting on loads of weight. Like he's too young to get rich. You can't give a kid a $50 million streaming contract. He's too young to get rich. You can't give a kid.
I can't. It's fucking Predator. I can't, bro. I don't care. You're pissed. I don't care.
Hey, no. Because before you said when he was arrested, see people, bro. Come on.
I'm siding with Sneeko, bro. I don't care.
Which brings us back to the Trump conversation. Aiden Ross is now seemingly backing away from his support of Donald Trump for a plethora of reasons, but I would honestly say that Aiden Ross never knew anything about Donald Trump to give him his endorsement in the first place. It was just a cool thing to do. It was a cool thing to say to be anti. It got you a certain group of friends, and because you are rich, it's not ultimately going to affect you, but there are real life consequences and actions to the things that you do say and support and empower on your platforms and channels, and Aiden Ross took that very lightly. He often takes it very lightly. I can remember when he sat down with Your Rage Gaming and literally talked about why he supports Donald Trump, and it was
give me 3 reasons why Trump is better than Biden. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just want to know if you're actually talking and you're not just
what Rage just did right there is fence sitting. Okay, you should either say I agree with you or I disagree with you. But you tell me your reasons. Now, I'm not saying you're right or wrong. Because I wonder if he did Your Rage ever give his opinion? I don't know.
It's a bot.
I could be wrong.
Bot
Hey,
repeating
first
shit.
of all, what happened with abortion is ridiculous. You should not be able to tell a woman what to do with her body. That's first of all. That's a woman's body.
You think.
Yeah, why are we doing this right now, bro, on stream?
You're so brain dead.
Hold up. So what does he think happened? What did Aiden think happened?
You're so brain dead.
Okay.
Wait, you think Biden was the one that wanted abortion to be? That's what you think? That's
He's a
like
president.
that's how that works.
He's a president. He can, you know what I'm saying? He can not ban it. What do you mean?
All right, bro.
What does a fascist mean? It means you are a far right authorization
Authorization authoritarian, buddy. Oh my God, we can't even read. How we gonna do comprehension? I was thinking about doing like a segment called the comprehension class, where I take quotes and we break them down on a whiteboard or something, because the way people be breaking down sentences, they've never sat through a language arts class. They don't know what a subject, a predicate, a compound sentence, a run-on sentence. They don't know about conjunctions, articles, adverbs, adjectives. They don't know nothing, bruh. They just be talking. And they be wondering why they be misinterpreted, because they don't even know how words work. They don't even know what it means. They just want they want to say what they want to say and hope you believe it once they're done talking. And if you don't believe it, you just don't understand.
Ultra analyst, political ideology movement characterized by dictator leadership, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition.
He literally should not be allowed to talk.
Like, I just want him to, you break this down. He said authorization, authoritarian, ultra nationalist, okay, dictatorial leader, centralized, autocracy. Like, this is why you can't teach people. Okay, I'll take that back. You can't teach people like Aiden. You can't teach people like Aiden. But this is why they're so uneducated about the things they talk about, because they don't even know how to break words down. Ultra, prefix, nationalist. You can figure out what that word means. Autocracy. You can figure out what that word kind of means, but if you have no comprehension, you're done. You're cooked. You're cooked.
Forcible suppression of opposition.
He literally should not be allowed to talk to these people. I don't even know why he can't see it as clear as day. Aiden Ross and others live a life that is carefree and consequence-free. They are allowed to ride waves because they are ultra rich. They can say things, skew narratives, not ask real questions, not do any deep thought on anything, hell, not even lightweight thought on anything, and push whatever they want to without consequence, because at the end of the day, once they need to, they can pivot, they can switch. But they have a young audience who follows them lock and step, and that may be fault of them. I can acknowledge that, but they have a young audience and they have a responsibility with that young audience, but they use it very recklessly. And those young kids are left holding the bags. Those are the ones who are left with dirt on their hands, going out there saying these disgusting things and are actually having consequences to their actual actions based off of what's been done.
What did you take? Fuck the woman, fuck the woman.
What? No, wait. We love women. We love women. We love women.
But not like transgenders.
Yes, sir. We love everybody. But see, then people be thinking like you just be talking. What do you think? What do you think happens? Like you want to be influencer, you want to be influential. You want to be an influencer. It's crazy how Sneeko can be so smart that he knows, yo, woman takes her clothes off on Instagram, boys might start watching certain videos. You know that, but you don't know when you talk the way you talk that people are gonna start thinking that this is the right thing to like regurgitate, and these ideas that you may be like being snarky when you talk to people. You don't think people are gonna take that as like, oh, this is the right thing. No.
Okay,
Yeah, merch, preach. And look, my biggest problem.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
My biggest problem with that right there is if that was some ultra, what do they call it, liberal person that he was on stream with, he would be like, no, you're stupid because blah, blah, blah. Why don't you talk to the kids? You're right there. You see the impact of the things you say, correct it. The same way you would correct anybody else trying to tell you what to do in your comment section or that you're discussing things with on stream, you would do all of that. But when you got people right in front of you, be like, nah, you shouldn't think like this. What makes you think like you had a teachable moment right there. You're supposed to be Mr. Enlightenment Man. Why don't you say nothing?
Yeah, gang, influence is real. It's funny because Sneeko is even walking back on his voting for Trump rhetoric. And as I'm making this video, Rolling Stone put out an article saying that prominent influencers, including Theo Von, Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz, are starting to distance themselves from the president. Now, these are people who helped put Donald Trump in office, put this person in power. But now, less than a year later, they are now walking back on these sentiments. The worst part about it is it's not like they're not hearing anything new or anything that wasn't available to them back then. Theo Von is backing off of Donald Trump based off of his stances on immigration because his father was an immigrant. Well, Theo, when he came on...
What did you... Build the Wall was Trump term 1, 2015 presidential campaign. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And it like...
your platform, he was still the same way about immigration. Like, I don't know. Joe Rogan is also mad on Trump's stance on immigration. And Andrew Schultz is saying that he voted for none of this. Look, ultimately, it's not that I have a problem with...
You cannot say you voted for none of this. When you tell other people, oh, LGBTQ marriage got approved, this is what you voted for. That's what you told other people when a certain candidate did something that you didn't like and you wanted to have conversations with other people, you told them that's what they voted for. So if you voted for this person and they start doing things that people don't like, you voted for it. That's what they told you they were going to do. Come on, what are we doing, man?
These people using their power and influence to get whoever they want to be elected or empowered or platformed or whatever the case may be. But there's a couple things to note when it comes with this. One, you can't be mad when people criticize you and align you with those sorts of people. I think that it's very nasty to act like hanging around a KKK member shouldn't have you be tied to KKK values. Like, I think that that's a weird ideology in your mind. Two, don't act stupid as if you didn't know these things things before. I don't understand why these people are trying to pull the wool over our eyes and act as if they didn't know what Trump was saying or any other politician or whoever else was saying before they platformed them. It's not something different. It's the thing that's maintained the same. 3, these people are using you. They know that you are so stupid. I made a video about the Nelk Boys not too long ago on this exact same situation. The Nelk Boys had Israel's prime minister on their platform, and it was so crazy to me that they had him on there because I knew that they lacked the depth of having somebody of that caliber on their platform. They weren't equipped doing the correct sort of pushback. And ultimately
Bro, let me tell you, listen. The way they got circles ran around them is so crazy. Bro, my man sat down and said, and that's how you just don't know people don't know the lore. He sat down, I seen the video, he sat down, he said, oh, these mics. He made a reference of having to know the mic is actually recording you. But if you know the lore of why that's the thing he said, he just, oh my goodness, bro.
nothing but further the narrative that the prime minister was trying to push. And openly, admittedly so, in their follow-up sit-downs, they had no clue what they were talking about and just took cue cards from other people.
So we walked in and there was just like 20 people in suits there. Yeah. The setup was already there.
And this is why I don't understand when people like this start talking about, yo, free speech, man. Like, you should be able to ask these questions. You should be able to say these things. Then they get in front of people and they're like, well, this is what they told me to say. So I just clown show, man.
We couldn't touch anything or move anything.
And they don't give you any restrictions like don't ask this?
I'll be honest, they gave us a paper with questions to ask. But they also said they kind of, they gave us a script to ask, but we didn't really follow it. Yeah. We tried our very best to ask some questions.
But I'm just telling you, this was like part of a much bigger propaganda effort, right? And a country that spends $150 million on its image, they are covering something. They when they spread all of this propaganda, it's like, we're not starving people in Gaza. You understand that this conversation has been happening for 2 years. You need to stop infantilizing yourself. It's like, we're just stupid people doing stupid stuff. Exactly. You're 30 years old and you need to be aware of what's happening in the world and that your reach and your platforms mean something and it affects people. And I think the biggest reason why people were so upset for you, not because you brought someone and you didn't contest him, that it is the talking point that he used is the same talking points that have been used for 2 years.
Bro, it's like this thing where like, you know how incredibly privileged it like you remember one of the greatest scenes in cinema was when Thanos told Iron Man, he was like, you two have been cursed with knowledge. When you know about what actually happens in the world and the way people are affected, you just have to move differently. And it is an incredible privilege to be that oblivious. I was going to say dumb, but I don't even want to say dumb. That oblivious that, oh, we're just having fun, guys. You got money to take care of your life. You got food to eat every day. You got a certain level of security. You don't even think about doing bad things because for what? You have everything you want. That you can't even sit down and think about. I did order DoorDash today. Would I ever do DoorDash? You think I'm about to be driving around dropping off people food? Of course not. What does that person have to be going through to be out here door dashing? What is going on with their life where they can't sit up in a 5,000 square foot apartment in Miami? Why ain't they living like that? What's going on? What's wrong with them? That's how some people would think. But then when you start to realize what real life is to other people, you're so happy inside of your perspective that you never sit to think, why do other people act like this? How is the world creating a world where these people got to act like this?
To kill thousands of people.
It's time for us to start holding these streamers accountable and these content creators' feet to the fire. You don't just get to discard these things when they no longer suit you. And For a long time, we've let influencers and content creators get off this same tired ass gimmick, but it's not gonna fly anymore. I've heard a lot of people use the excuse that, can't you see Aiden Ross is only doing this because he's seeing what's happening to people like Kirk that go out in public and speak. I don't think that anybody in their right mind is thinking that what happened to Charlie Kirk is going to happen to Aiden Ross if he continues to endorse politics. I don't think that people even attribute Aiden Ross to politics heavily. I think that this is just another one of those situations in which Aiden Ross got manipulated and is now using that as some sort of bail or scapegoat in order to get out of the responsibility that he has for the actions that he did. Platform him, but vet him. Ask real questions. Do your research and do your due diligence. But you need to be real with yourself. If you don't have the depth and the knowledge to platform these guys, then you probably should not do it. I applaud the content creators that turn down situations in which they can clearly see they are about to get manipulated by the people asking to be on their platform. Your platform is bigger than mainstream media. Use it like it.
I just feel like at some point people gotta ask. This is one. Maybe this is why people get manipulated, because you don't even know how to ask questions to find out who people really are. The reason why I feel like I have such a good friend group and network around me, because I feel like I know how to carry myself in a way where I learn things about people as we go. Not intentionally, not like I'm out here testing people, but sometimes you just gotta ask people questions to realize the depth and the reasons for why they do what they do. Some people you're gonna really agree with. Some people you're gonna disagree with, but they're tolerable to be around. Some people you're gonna find out the way that you act is just unethical. I can't do it. Now, I just don't know. And maybe I never knew how good my education was until I got on Twitter and YouTube and I started seeing people's the way that they come to conclusions, and it just baffles me sometimes how you take these random sample of facts and come to the conclusion that you comes to. It's just I don't know, man.